sending an emoji, please. Mr. Franklin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. That's Mr. Franklin there. And we also have Engineer Oluleye, who is the CEO of SciTech Automation. Mr. Oluleye, can you hear me? Mr. Oluleye.
He's not online now. He's not online.
Okay.
I can't see
Thank you very much, sir.
him online.
Okay. Yes, so we'll dive in. I would like to acknowledge every one of us. Thank you for joining us today. Before we proceed to the talk of the day, Mr. Franklin, Mr. Franklin.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, sir. So I will give you the room to introduce yourself again. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good day all. I greet you.
Yes,
I
thank you,
hope I'm
sir.
audible enough.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
All right. Okay, so as the Mr. Mayowa rightly said, my name is Franklin Fidelist. I work for I'm delighted to be here to speak to us on this Zoom meeting. And I hope it will be a very good learning call for every one of us. So we can go home, with something as to take away. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, why Mr. Olule is not available with us now? Uh, I guess we will need to kickstart our program for the day. Mr. Rufus,
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, please.
yes, do you have anything to say for us before we start?
Okay, I've actually did a little of introduction there, but officially, I want to say thank you so much once again to Octan, the sponsor of this event, and our housing mother, and to also liaison officer, that's University liaison officer, Engineer Olulaye, the CEO of CTech Automations and Control, and to also Mr. Fidelis, who has taken out time out of his busy schedule to be here with us and to see that students are impacted together with the young professionals in the industry. And also to every VIP, I see every one of us here as VIP because we are the next generation of the oil and gas industry. I want to say thank you so much for being here, for taking out time. And if you're not from Smina, let me see your hand. Thank you,
So,
Kenneth. I see your reaction. Indeed, you are a VIP. If you're not from Federal University of Technology, Mina, let me see your emoji. If you're not from Footsmina, okay, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much. I've seen that. So, okay, thank you, Adamu. Thank you for seeing the message. Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you. So, I want to say thank you so much to all of our VIP from other institutions who are present here today, and to every one of us in Footsmina. I I'm very optimistic that today's webinar is going to be an exceptional one. Like our moderator said earlier, it's not like the conventional things we'll have in the classroom, not like the conventional lecture, but this is going to be a navigator showing you the direction to go in the oil and gas industry. I want to enjoin every one of us to sit back, relax, and get your notepad, get your pen, get your diary, and begin to map out things for your life. Begin to map out instructions that will be coming out. Begin to take notes on key points that will be coming from all of our speakers. And once again, I want to say thank you. I hand over to Mayowa now. Thank you so much. So over to Okay, Mayowa is not here yet. Okay, Kalista, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Kalista? Okay, I think Kalista is not here.
I can hear you, sir. Sorry, I can hear you. Good
Okay,
afternoon, sir.
all right. Good afternoon. You can take over now. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Onoha Kalista, the Vice President, Octan for Footmina chapter. I'm very, very happy to be in this first ever meeting we're having, this first ever online meeting we're having here. It's a privilege. So honestly, I'm not prepared for this though, but we'll see how it goes. So our first speaker, our first speaker would is sorry, our first speaker is engineer Oluye, and I don't know if he's online. Mr. Rayford, sorry, is Engineer Oluye
Okay,
online?
Engineer Lou is not online now. He's not online. So we'll be having Mr.
Oh,
Franklin.
okay. Mr. Franklin, hello? Can anyone hear me? Mr. Franklin,
Yes,
over
we can
to
hear
you,
you.
sir.
All right. All right.
Thank you very much, sir. So sorry for the short notice. Our first speaker is not online yet, and I'll try my possible best to get to reach out to him.
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you very much, sir. You can go on, sir.
Because it's even good for me to come in first because I need to resume work by 6 p.m.
Okay,
All right, sir. No problem, sir. You
thank
can
you.
continue, sir. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
All right. Okay. So as a way of introduction and an icebreaker, I would like to say that food Peter was where I wanted to have my first degree in 2015.
Sweet.
Yes, yes. So when you guys reached out to me on LinkedIn, I just smiled. I'm like, yeah. So
Sweet.
in 2015, I came to Mina, Boso. Yeah, I came there for to do computer training and register for JAMB. But along the line, I just changed my mind due to some stuffs because I would not want to share that. But though I wanted to study in Futmina, but some things that made me change my mind, not pertaining to Futmina, but family stuffs. So I had to leave in December and all that. So, but then it's a very nice school. Whenever I used to go to Boso campus, then to just look at the whole place, it's so fun. I'm like, oh God, I want to come and study here. You know. So, but it was painful to not study in Futmina. But thank God we are where we are now. So it's good to have you guys on this call. And I hope that, like I said before, I hope it will be a very good learning call for everybody because particularly I'm very interested in helping young professionals generally. At least for this year now alone, I've had two meetings with two different SPE young professionals groups, Boracots and Worry young professional section. So it's a good one to be able to extend that to Footmina. And also, Footmina has a very good footprint in the oil and gas industry. I don't know if you guys know, but currently in my company, Arade Holdings, our general manager of engineering and project, engineer Femi Olaniyan, he's a what do they call it, self? He's from your university, Footmina. You know, he's the person that I look up to a lot. So very very sound person, very very sound, like very intelligent. We also have somebody from Footmina again, our project safety lead, engineer Siri. So we have some good people from Footmina here. Yeah. So I wish you guys the best to come into the industry. Studying engineering from Footmina, it might look as if you are away from the oil and gas hub, which is Port Harcourt and Lagos. But it's funny how people still, come from there all the way to make impact. So it's a very good school. At least all the people I've seen from Footmina in my company here are really shining lights. If you're calling the best hands in Aradel, you will speak to Mr. Femelaniyo and Mrs. Cynthia from Footpinner. So kudos to you guys. I hope people are still carrying the beacon of light. Okay, so let me share my screen. I did a very short slide. Let's so it can guide me. So please, are you seeing my slide? Please confirm that. Not sure, help me confirm that.
Yes, sir, I can see it. It's clear.
Okay. All right. So I'd like this class to be as it should be interactive as possible. So anywhere you want me to stop and explain more, please feel free to interject. Okay, so my name is Franklin Fidelis, analyst at Aradel Holdings, currently a master student at the University of Port Harcourt, studying process engineering, and I basically provide support to the refinery team. I work in the refinery aspect of Aradel Holdings. So Aradel Holdings, it's an integrated, independent Nigerian-based oil and gas industry that covers the upstream, midstream, downstream area of the oil and gas industry. So we have a flow station, we have a gas plant, we have a refinery. So I'm in the refinery, and I hope this will be rewarding. So this is CareerTable 1.0. I remember before I got into the industry, I had a career workshop that was organized by the US Consulate General for young professionals, and that was a really beneficial one to me then. So that's why I did like a way of giving back, to help young professionals, because many people who cannot start into the industry today is as a result of deficiency in guidance and all that. I will also share some of my story where I made some mistakes, where if I had good guidance, I might not have made those mistakes. So having someone who is in the industry to come and talk to you people who are still in school or fresh out of school, it's a very, very important one. And that's why I will also appreciate the Oil and Gas Training Academy, Octan, if I'm not wrong, for putting this up, and for you all that have joined the meeting, because not all of you that are supposed to be here that are here. Some of your colleagues who maybe have seen this message might have downplayed it, but for you to be here shows that you are taking your career serious. And I would like to state it also that for you to grow in this industry, you need to be resilient. You need to be dogged. You need to be up and doing. The oil and gas industry, like I know that some of you should know, is very competitive. It's very competitive. I don't know if there's any fresh graduates here that have written any assessment or any stuff. It's not very easy to get in. Yeah, I know that in the country, getting a job is even difficult, basically. But it's even more difficult to get an oil and gas kind of job. And even when you get a job, to even grow in the industry, you need to be dogged. You need to be up and doing. Okay. So that's just my starter. And I wish us a rewarding class. So the reality of the oil and gas industry today. So it is central to the global energy industry, even amidst the energy transition and all that. So like some of us must have heard or know, there's currently this drive towards energy transition where people in Europe are saying that they want to retire oil and gas, but but they are not ready for it. That's the truth. So oil and gas is still central to the energy industry. So the energy industry is wide. Oil and gas is just a subset in the energy industry. You have power. Okay, please mute. So we have power, we have nuclear, we have renewables, we have a lot of other subsets that drive the energy industry. We have solar too, you know. So the oil and gas is currently central. It's part of it, like is the main driver of the energy industry, from your petrol in your cars to the lights you have driven by gas turbines from natural gas to petrochemicals to even your pharmaceutical pills. These are petroleum byproducts. So the oil and gas industry is still central. So even amidst the energy transition move and all that, they still need the oil and gas will still be playing a long, like a very heavy impact to the next 30 to 40 years. And even if there will be transition, there will still be they will not it will not entirely phase out oil and gas because it will still have its seat, as it's very, very important, you know. So the only thing is that there are going to be some changes and all that, but it's still going to be essential. So for some of you that are studying petroleum engineering, I know back then in school they will tell you that you are limited to only oil and gas. You are limited. My brother, don't be scared. You are very important. You are very important. They will not face you out. Okay. So that's just one of the realities of the oil and gas industry today. Secondly, there is a rising focus on efficiency, decarbonization, and transformation in digital space. So basically, I'm coming, excuse me. Okay, sorry, I had to clear off my throat. I'm having a little catarrh. Okay, so there's a rising focus on efficiency. So if you look at the note I put there, said the future of oil and gas isn't who produces the most barrels. It produces, sorry, the future of the oil and gas isn't who produces the most barrels. It's who produces the smartest barrels. So currently there is a very strong drive on efficiency, on AI, smart technologies is really moving weight in the industry, and that's one of the things that I hope to drive in this webinar, because you guys need to know about that. So there's this current drive for tech, AI, efficiency. So over the years, uh, it's all about how much oil are you producing, okay? But nowadays it's not the case. It is now on how efficient, how value driven, what is the longevity of your production. You have a well that you drill, that the well just lasts for 5 years, and then it packs up. That's not good enough. Your investors, your shareholders have to ensure that their investment is long lasting. And due to the current drive for decarbonization, where there is a strong regulatory pull on flaring, on CO2 emission, on greenhouse gas emission, you are going to be penalized if you are still flaring. Many companies now in oil and gas are not flaring. So for those who don't know, flaring means when you are like wasting your natural gas. Because crude oil comes with natural gas and crude oil itself. So we call it well effluent in general. So over the years, oil and gas companies used to flare off, take off, like burn out the gas and just take the crude oil to sell. But nowadays, now you cannot be doing that again. There is a penalty. The Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the regulators, they are really strong on it. You have to use the gas, because when you are burning those gas, you are releasing a lot of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and even some traces of sulfur dioxide and the nitrous oxides to the atmosphere, which is causing a lot of issues to the atmosphere, as such as global warming and all that. So there's this drive for efficiency. You have to produce the barrels the right way. You have to use currently. I don't know if people know about Saudi Aramco. It's one of the leading oil and gas industries in the world right now. It's owned by Saudi Arabia. They are really investing heavily into smart technologies, into digital twins, AI models, machine learning to drive efficiency in their oil and gas. So now the talk is not about how much are you producing. It's all about how you are doing it, the efficiency. How are you using tech. So if you are here as you are a Gen Z, or you are not up to 40 years and you don't have a tech skill, please get one now. Okay, because very soon you will stop writing with your pen and paper very soon in the industry. For school might still keep doing that, but the industry, you need to have those skills. Last class I took for SPU Worry, someone was sharing experience how he lost a job because he was asked, do you know how to use AutoCAD? He said no. Do you know how to use ISIS? He said no. And that's how he lost the job. So you need to have basic tech skills relating to your area. So every area has its own digital tech skill that you can learn. So that's one of the things you need to know, because gone the days of manual pen and paper. Now it's all about calculation. Now it's all about tech. You want to present to your manager. It's okay. Frank, go and work on this project. You cannot tell him, okay, sir, I'm done. You have to tell him, give him your report in slides. That's one thing you need to like. You see Excel, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word. Yeah, you have to know them, because you cannot be presenting any findings to your boss with your mouth. There has to be a slide. You get it. You get the point. So that's one of the realities in the oil and gas industry. You have to be tech driven. The area of pen and paper, the area of production only, that efficiency has gone. Okay. Also in the Nigerian context, local content and human capital development is still key. So okay, I can see a message. Let me check. What's that? Uh, okay, show that company. Okay. Okay, someone's talking about the Zara Aramco. Okay, yeah. So, um, in the Nigerian context, you have what we call the Nigerian Content Development Board, NCDMB. That's one of the federal government initiatives that is driving Nigerian local content. So, over back then, you have white men running the industry in oil and gas. Even till now, but it has reduced drastically. So, like now in Aradel, we are one of the companies that boasts of of Nigerian local content, 100%. We don't have white man here. We don't have one white man here. If you go to other companies, you can say at least one or two. But back then it was plenty. You have a lot of white men in the industry, a lot of them coming to work, but nowadays they've reduced it a lot. So if you are bringing a white man now, you have to pay heavily for it. I have to give a justification for why that person must do that job and why not a black man. So there's this push for Nigerian content. So even when Dangote was about to begin the refinery, he had to train over I think 200 engineers. So there's this push for Nigerian content. Even though I feel Nigeria needs to still do more, but at least they are trying. So why am I saying this? Is because you need to develop yourself. Those days of black man follow, they do this. That's past. Now Nigeria is really investing on let the black man do the job. Okay, why can't he do the job? Why will you have to go and bring a white man? So that is pushing the duty on the blacks, on the Nigerians. So you have to learn it. You have to do the job yourself. Okay. Before in those days, they will say, okay, bring a white man to come and to come and do it. Now they will say, go and train the black men, the Nigerians. So that's just a reality in the oil and gas industry. So it's good because now the industry believes in us. In those days, as a black man, you are really there's no trust. You get the point. When shareholders are investing in companies, they have to look, is there a white man there? But nowadays now, it has really changed a lot. So there's this trust in what you can do. So you have to do it. You have to deliver. That's what my boss always say. You must deliver. How you do it, I don't care. Do the job. So that is how people become leaders. Okay, by delivering at all costs. Okay, so what's happening? Slide is not moving. Okay, so I'll talk a little about my journey into the industry. Okay, my academic foundation is, so I have my BSc in internal chemistry, not engineering, and that was one of the mistakes I said I would share. So I actually wanted to study chemical engineering, you know, but after applying the first time, I was not admitted for chemical engineering. I now applied again. I was given internal chemistry, which is still related to chemical engineering. I wanted to defy it again and write again, but I was advised that okay, it's still the same thing. The internal chemistry is still industry and all that. So I studied that for 4 years. But coming to the industry and seeing everything, so that's one thing I want to share. So any career path you are thinking of pursuing, you need to know what it is. You need to know what it takes and go for it. Okay, you need to make your findings what it takes. So when I finished my first degree in biochemistry and I joined the oil and gas industry, I saw a dichotomy a little bit. So the industry, the oil and gas industry is very biased to engineering. That's one thing you need to take away from this class. They're very biased to engineering. So if you are about to study and you want to work in oil and gas, ensure you are around the engineering space. Chemical engineering, petroleum, mechanical, electrical. This will give you a lot of edge when you are applying for jobs. There are some jobs that I applied back then and I didn't get, because basically it's energy driven, right? It's engineering driven. Anything in the oil and gas is basically engineering driven. So they will prefer to get an engineer, you know. So that's one of the so when I joined, that was the first shock I observed. Like, whoa, you know. So some of the things I was experiencing, I didn't learn it in my first degree. I had to do a lot of studies to be able to catch up. Okay, I had to study a lot to catch up. Currently, I had to do a PhD in chemical engineering, and I'm doing my master's now in chemical process engineering to just to like to have that basis, because even apart from even you following up, is even also a regulatory requirement. For some roles you are doing, you need to have a backing academic foundation in that role you are doing. Currently, work, I do more of process engineering, which is chemical engineering basis. So if I had maybe studied chemical engineering, I might have, find it lots more easier. And even if you study the chemical engineering or any engineering course you study, you need to know what you're studying. Because if you come here and you are empty-headed, you struggle. Because a lot of the industry is very, very fast-paced. Nobody's waiting for you to catch up. It's very fast paced. From your first day on the work, they're already giving you projects. Okay, work on this, do this, do this, because they believe that you should know. Unless maybe you come in through a graduate trainee route, and even at that, you still have to still work on projects. I know of our last GT set that we recruited. From that day one, they're working on projects already. So whatever course you are studying, ensure you know what you're studying. There's a guy that came to do internship. I was like last year from, okay, let me not call it university so that I'm not defaming the university. But he was studying petroleum engineering, and when he came, he was sent to the gas plant. So the first thing that the gas plant lead asked him, okay, how are you? Welcome from this school. Okay, you're studying petroleum engineering. Okay, so what is petroleum engineering? By the way, just like a quick question. And he was struggling. He was struggling. Asking some basic questions. Okay, what is, even because this is a gas plant? What do you understand by gas? And he was struggling. So how I got to know about it was that he came to me. I'm like, oh bro, please help me. Because then I was still like 2 years in the industry. Okay, I think that was last 2 years because this is my 4 year in the industry. So we're like, okay, because I'm kind of like one of the youngest person in my space right now, you know. So due to that friendship, like, oh bro, see what I faced too. I'm like, why don't you know about at least petroleum? Say something. He say, I had to give him some assignment. I go and study about this, go and do this. So that made his response to the professor really got the man pissed, and the man didn't talk to him. He said, just leave my that was really not good for as a starter. That first impression, it was really bad. So he had to go and study again, do some preliminary this thing and all that. And somehow you're not blaming because the way the academic institution is run currently is basically theory driven, cram and pass. Some things some basic stuffs you don't really you can't if you are asked, you can't really say it because until you go and look at your book. So that's why whatever course you are studying, I think you should understand what that course is all about. You know, so that's just part of the story I want to put out. So ensure that your foundation academically is in line with what you want to do. Okay. And then my key turning point was internship. So I was able to come into the industry through internship opportunity. I did my internship and I also served in the company, and I was made to work on projects. So that's part of the journey I vibed in. I engaged in during my journey. So I worked on projects. Like I said, you work on projects when you're in the industry. You have to do this. I remember my first project. I was told to develop a Microsoft Word template. I can cumulate different because my first role was in quality control. I can cumulate various. We have 3 trains here. And accumulate the result of 3 different trains. I didn't know how to do it. I had to go to YouTube, watched a lot of videos on Excel, on MS Word, because then I also was not really very vast with computer softwares and all that. I had to learn on the project. So that project was my first project, and I was able to deliver it in I think a week or so. And that was how I began. From there, I got to learn Aspen High Seas, learn AutoCAD. Currently I'm learning advanced MATLAB and all that. So this is how you can navigate in industry. You need to have the determination to push yourself. From quality control laboratory, I was able to move to operations, process engineering, and all that. Currently, I'm more like the software guy in the company. I have like almost 5 software skills I've been able to master in the past 2 to 3 years now. So you need to really make yourself outstanding, you know. And my third point said press simulation. That's like my current niche now. Press simulation using Aspen. You know, it builds if you are in the chemical engineering, petroleum engineering side of the industry, you need to have this skill because it helps to build your analytical mindset, to solve the problem, you know, because what differentiates a graduate or an engineer from a technician or a non-graduate is basically how he thinks. So, like we always say, the engineer knows the why, the technician knows the how. Okay, the technicians are very good on the how. They know how to plug it, add it, trick it, bind it, but basically when you get to the point of okay how, or when you're troubleshooting, you're thinking outside the box. That's where your degree comes to play. That's where your engineering comes to play, your engineering mindset comes to play. So these software skills help a lot to make your thinking better. Like if you are doing a simulation with your software, you can be able to try various scenarios. You know, current 2 months ago, we were able to present our findings on we did a low cost in-house optimization of one of our processes using these softwares, and it was really really beneficial because if you are going to think this thing yourself, it might be because the era of manual thinking is kind of like fading away gradually. Now, these software skills help you to simulate, play around with parameters and all that. So I'm not sure about my audience if I have more of engineers or a mixture. That's why I'm just going around, to be safe, so that everybody can pick from something. So whatever career path you are in, or whatever course you are studying, or whatever thing you want to be, you need to go and research about the software skills that are needed in that area. Why do you have to do that? Currently, the industry, the oil and gas space, is filled with the what I call them, the millennials, I mean the boomers, our fathers. You get the point. Unlike other industries like the banking, manufacturing, you have young people. In oil and gas, you see more of older people here. So there's this, if you are following LinkedIn or following the industry, you see there's this drive for many companies are employing career trainees. So the experience, the knowledge bank is going away. If these other people don't pass it down, it will fade away. That's why many companies are really recruiting for career trainees to bring young minds so they can pass on knowledge. You know, when I came to the company, I joined my company in 2021. When I came, I was the only young person here. Everybody was my father. Daddy, go up to daddy, mommy, daddy, mom. I struggled. It was kind of like lonely for me, but gradually we have young people now in the system. So if you are young, I'm pushing you to the challenge to pick up, you know, be serious with your life, be serious. There's this notion about that Nigerian youths are lazy. Nigerian youths want to make money fast, want to, go in Yahoo and all that. The girls are thinking towards making money from men. Let's not go with that narrative. Let's demand for young people in the oil and gas industry. So let's take that opportunity. You need to know what it takes. So, like I was saying before, why you need to have those tech skills is that these older guys. Hello, am I still
Yes, sir, your screen
Yes,
is still showing and we are
we can
hearing you
hear you.
audibly.
okay? Thank you. So these older guys, our leaders, during that time, it was more of manual. You know, a lot of tech skills coming up. Some of them who are very smart are taking the pains to learn. You know, taking the pains to learn. But some of them are not really, they're not really, I beg, all these tech skills. Most times they will call you, Frank, come help me and do this thing. Come help me. So most times, they kind of struggle with these tech stuffs that are coming up currently, like machine learning, AI, simulation, design, you know. So as a young person, it is just natural. If you pick up a software skill to learn now, you can easily learn it. It's just, I don't know if you are born from the 1990s to currently, it's easier for us to learn this thing. When you have these skills, you can easily help them a lot. You can easily assist them a lot. One of the things that have really made me outstanding and have really helped me my growth is I'm tech savvy. Okay, I can easily learn any tech skill. You get the point. To make sometimes when maybe you are trying to solve a problem and it's taking the time, I can just go and check on YouTube. Okay, sir, I've done this. Is a faster route. It makes them easily appreciate you. It makes your value be more important to them in the team. There are some decisions making that you will not be due to your experience gap, which is very low, and your level. You might not be wanting. You might not be opportune to be in that meeting, but because you have made yourself valuable with those tech skills that is helping them, Frank, come and join, just listen, take notes, and all that. And when you're done, okay, can I have a brief on it? There are several things I've been able to do in the past that have made the job easier for my boss using tech skills. So it makes your job easier for those older ones and make your value faster. Because if you want to learn that the manual route, it might take you a longer time, especially if you're in the engineering space. Might take you a longer time to learn any part, whether it's operation, whether it's engineering, whether it's design. But when you use the software skills, it makes your growth faster. It makes your learning even easier. So that's one of the things that I want to push out to this for this class. Let's be tech driven. I don't like when I see people come to do internship here and you ask them, do you know how to use MX Word? No, I'm struggling. You know how to use Excel? No, and you are a Gen Z. Like, really? So you get a point. So you have to know how to use these softwares. If you want to go into supply and supply chain, you need to know about SAP, SAP. If you want to go into design, you are doing civil or mechanical, you need to know about AutoCAD, know about Revit, know about all those design softwares. If you want to go into project management, you need to know about Primavera, all those stuff. So that's just you need to understand how these things work. So that's basically my journey in the industry. So how can you find your career path in the oil and gas industry? So that's one thing that I hope to also achieve here. When you understand the vision, it will guide your action. Okay. When you know the tomorrow will help you to plan your today. We can't affect our yesterday. It is gone. It is gone. The only thing we can change is our tomorrow. And how do you do it? Is by your today. It's only God that can tell you about tomorrow, okay, and how it will be. But you can be able to fine tune your tomorrow from your today's actions. So to make your career exciting and rewarding, you have to from now decide, what do I want to go into? Is it oil and gas I want to go into? Is it upstream? And good thing about oil and gas is that oil and gas is a very good room for everybody. Unlike other industries, oil and gas has room for both engineers, scientists, managers, management courses, commercial people, accounting, even people that did psychology and all that. Because you have HR, there's HR, there is supply chain, there is marketing, there's sales, there is business development. So you have to understand, okay, do I want to go into oil and gas? What path do I want to go into? You can do a research from now that you are still in school, or now that you are not in the industry, or even if you're in the industry. Like when I joined my company new, there were a lot of options. I had to choose, what do I want. Over time, as you progress, you might have there might be some fine tuning. You might have to make some changes, but at least have something in mind, because when you have a goal, it will affect what you are doing now. Many people, I see them that they are very lackadaisical. They are not making any positive impact on their life and destiny. It's because of they don't even have a direction. You know, but when you have a goal in mind, it affects your action. Look at someone like Ronaldo in football. For those that watch football, the guy has the mind to become a great player, and you can see it from his actions when he was at Real Society, that club that he began from, before he moved to Man U, to Madrid, and all that. The guy puts in the work. So in the industry, we have what we call value chain. That tells you the various chains that put up the what we call the oil and gas industry. There's upstream, there's midstream, and there's downstream. Upstream is all about extraction, exploration, production, getting the oil from the ground to the surface. That's upstream. Okay, it covers drilling, it covers services like your logging, chemical selection, oil feed chemicals. It covers production engineering, flow station, and all that. So there's even procurement. It's still another area of the upstream, you know. And we have the midstream. Midstream is all about movement, okay, in it, processing and movement, moving the crude oil from the facility to where it's being used. Okay, covers pipelines, covers gas processing facilities like tech dehydration units, covers storage and all that. Basically, from point A to point B. That's the midstream. Downstream is all about the actual value creation. Okay, you're refining, distribution, marketing, sales. So the downstream is a bigger player. Okay, it deals with conversion of the, because crude oil on its own is of no value if it's not being processed and converted to what we can use in a downstream. So basically, the downstream is is the reason why the upstream exists. So if the downstream guys don't process, don't use the upstream products, you don't have upstream. Okay, just like nobody can eat raw rice. Okay, why people farm rice? Because people can eat rice when it's being processed. So the downstream is much more broader. It employs more people. It employs more diversity of fields. Upstream is basically for science students. Let me just be frank. Upstream is basically for engineering, chemists, you know, but the downstream is very broad player, you know, from the crude oil, you can get your petrol, your diesel, petrochemicals and all that, LPG and all that. So that's basically the value chain of the oil and gas industry. So you have to study about this, you know, which one interests you more, which one will you want to go into. You know, there are various videos on YouTube that can really guide you on this stuff and all that. So also you have to build core and edge skills. So core means like your own discipline, what you're studying, what your own core skills. You need to build it. You know, if you're an engineer, you need to understand basic thermodynamics, understand process design, understand, you know, so that when you come to the industry, you are not just empty-headed. You are also, you know, you can relate, because a lot of things that they're going to be teaching you when you come to the industry, if you don't understand what you did in school, you will struggle a lot. So just like there was a day where during my internship period, I was talking to my boss. They were like, okay, you know, this is because of the JT effect, Joe Johnson effect. I was like, okay, I know I did that in school, but I didn't understand how it was being applied in the industry. I had to go back and study again, you know, to really understand it. You know, and when I got to, you know, do that refresher, I appreciated the knowledge more. So you need to build yourself. If you're in school now, okay, or if you're just fresh out of school, at least understand the core of your discipline. Okay, even edge skills, this is talking about tech skills and all that. Like I said before, I'll not plug it again. So also, in finding your career path, you need to leverage internships. That's one of the sure routes to get to the industry. Internship. Whenever you see internship from maybe any company, any oil company or whatsoever, apply for it. Because what internship does is that internships
What did you do?
is mute. Okay, so first to please mute. So internships is more like a audition. That's where I see internship, an audition. You know, they're not wanting to employ you yet. They want to see, you know, you before they take you in. Because I won't lie to you, for any company to employ you, they are taking a risk on you, because you can come in and you can destabilize their operations. You can cause problems for them. So internship is more like a way of testing you before they take you in. That's the way I see it. Even though some companies will not will not retain you, but most companies will retain you, especially if you show that grit, that doggedness, that seriousness. You know, when I finished my internship here where I work, so many of us were sent back, because when I joined, we were like 11 interns that came that period. We're only five of us that were allowed to stay back. You know, about six of us were sent back. You know, that's that's where you now have to distinguish yourself. So if you are currently interning in any company, please put in your best. It's like an audition. Put in your best. If you're not interning and you see a internship job, put in your best. Don't say after all, because then as interns we're doing night shifts, and the staffs were being paid per night. Every night they spend on the field, they are paying them good money. We were doing that shit free of charge, you know, and they were paying us peanuts. You know, some people might say, I beg all these night shifts something say after all they're not paying me for it. I beg. No, you have to take the opportunity. Even if they are paying you peanuts, that is your chance. Make use of it. Anything that they ask you to work on, you know, do it. You know, even projects also, even without even being in an internship position. I was very amazed when I went to SP conference, NICE conference in August. I saw some fresh graduates that were not working, that came to present their projects at SP NICE. There's a guy that really marveled the audience. He's a petroleum engineering student in UI. He's in final year. But this guy, he did a job on reservoir modeling using Python. Good work. And I saw some senior men going to meet him and getting his contacts. And that guy, I'm sure that they'll pick him up. So if you can work on any project, any pest project you can do, work on it, you know, go on LinkedIn, broadcast it. If you can go to conferences to present it, you can present it. There are Society of Petroleum Engineers. I think for Uniport, I know that they usually have this uh, subsidy for their travel to go to Lagos to present. Make yourself known. Try to see how you can. That brings me to networking. Network. If you are here and you're not on LinkedIn, you are doing the wrong thing. You need to be on LinkedIn. You need to put your face in people's face. Seriously, because nobody really have your time. Oh. Let me use pigeon. Nobody really send you. Nobody really send you. You need to work your way, especially if you're not from a rich family or you don't have connections. You need to be very serious with your life. You know, if you're on LinkedIn and you're just quiet, no, you need to once in a while put up a post, what you have worked on, what you learned. You can leverage skills like you can leverage tools like Coursera, Udemy, take courses, go there and present. Okay, I just did a course on so and so, and I learned this and that. If you look at my LinkedIn page, you will see even me now, I'm in industry, I'm still doing stuff. Then why won't you do it as a young graduate or as a undergraduate? You need to put yourself out there, because even though RDL is great, there are still other bigger companies that will pay me more than what RDL is paying me. So I have to, so you need to put yourself out there, okay? And also, lastly, align your passion with market demand. So you need to know what the market is demanding. Like I said before, in the oil and gas industry, especially in the upstream and midstream, it is mostly engineering driven. You need to align your passion with engineering if you want to really grow in the upstream and all that, or maybe geology, very good. That's another very selling point, geology and all that. So you need to know what are the market demand. Currently, there is a push towards energy transition. You need to start, if you are doing any projects, you should be aligning it towards transition, towards CO2 reduction in emission, gas flaring reduction, something around, even like I said, like on the digital roles, you need to start learning digital skills as a way of making yourself marketable. During my job hunting days after I left the UBA bank, and because I was in the bank before, and I left because I was not it was not fulfilling my career prospects. So I left, and I think for like almost 3 months or so I was not doing anything. There's a man is currently the GM of Rain Oil. I'm like, oh, good afternoon, sir. On LinkedIn, I'm this and that. He asked me a question. He just asked me, what's your skill set? And I was dumbfounded. I couldn't see anything. He asked me, what's your skill set? I gave him a very funny answer. When I look at that chart now, those day I opened it, I just laughed. He asked me, what's your skill set? So then I didn't have any skill. You know, and that was it. The man didn't answer me again. so so you have to have a skill set. You have to align your passion to market demand. You have to know what am I going into? What am I if you are maybe from a non-science or engineering background, there are various rules in procurement, in marketing, in digital business development. You know, there's a girl currently in my company that is in development. She did psychology, but this girl, very smart girl, she's very smart girl. She uses a lot of all these Power BI, all those tech skills to do a lot of stuff to make the business. That's our department, though. So there are various roles for non-science or engineering graduates. So you need to understand if you want to go into HR, human resources development, management. You need to understand, okay, what are the skills to learn in HR that will make me a HR specialist? If you want to go into supply chain, there are various courses on supply chain. You want to go into QA/QC. So you understand what align yourself to market demand. Align yourself to market demand. Like I've said, at least I've been able to point out to there's a there's a demand towards digital, towards tech. There's a demand towards energy transition. So align yourself to this career path. So some challenges and transitions and all that, like I said, the industry volatility and regulation shifts. So the industry is very, very volatile. That's the truth. Any day, when you're oil and gas, it's not really bed of roses. You are sitting on time bomb. Anytime there can be an explosion. You can read what happened in October in a refinery in Chevron in the US. Got that had a very serious fire incident. So it's very volatile. There can be a fire that people can lose their life, people can lose their jobs, and all that. Even also, it is volatile in the sense of you can be sacked at any time. If there's a dip in oil price, like we saw in 2000 and it's not 2020 or so, people had to lose people lost their jobs a lot in Shell due to the oil price dip, you know, and there can be regulation shifts. Currently the Tinubu regime is really enhancing and supporting the energy industry in Nigeria currently. And as you can see, if you are following the trend, you can see a lot of companies are employing people a lot this period because Tinubu is really like pushing for we need more oil. There can be a new person that might come now and start talking about want something else, like Buhari that was talking about agriculture. you know they can, because when the government in power is really is enhancing any industry, it does it by reducing the tax, by allowing for more funds, more investors, confidence and all that. So there are some things that really affect the industry. So the oil and gas is really volatile in that sense. There's any shift in regulation or in oil price or fire incident, you can lose your job, you can lose your life. So have that in mind, but that's not our prayers, because in terms of the fire incident, like that I mentioned, we have a very strong safety awareness in the oil industry, because we know where we are working on. So there's a very strong safety incidents strong safety awareness that pushes us so that we don't have those incidences. And currently, the world is still in demand for oil. So there's no fear for losing your job or oil price going too low and all that. So that's just that. So also there is digital transformation and AI adoption. So currently there is a push for AI in the oil and gas industry. I looked at my current MSc project is on CO2 reduction using digital twins, and I'm currently studying Saudi Aramco and what they are doing. They're using Aspen Tech AI digital tool to enhance their sustainability goals and all that. And I was really amazed when I was reading a lot about how they're using AI and machine learning. So if you can learn those things, there's Python, Power BI, a lot of things you can use AI, and it's currently selling. And why it's good is that when you are going for an interview as a young graduate and you have these tech skills, almost you're already getting the job already. There's one day my colleague were talking about something. If you go on LinkedIn, you see so many people are doing their masters abroad and they're having their PhD abroad. When these people come out to apply with you for a job, do you think the HR will leave them and take you? You get the point. So same thing for tech skills too. You know, someone that has almost five tech skills, fresh graduates, and is applying for a role, and you are in zero with the person, you have zero tech skill. Do you think that miracle will happen? Anyway, so yes, there's miracle. So, but just do your best. That's what I'm just saying. So there's this current drive for digital transformation and AI adoption in the industry. Also, soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and ability to adapt. You will always communicate in the industry, and there's always need for teamwork. There's hardly any job you do in oil and gas and you not have to work in the team, because you have to work in the team for safety reasons. Even someone has to be over you to see what you are doing. You have a colleague that you can share your insights with. So you must always need to have that. If you are here that you are a lone ranger, you need to start stopping that character now. You are here that you don't used to. I don't mingle. I'm an introvert. Stop that character now. If you want to really maximize your school fees, your degree, you always be in teams. Anything you are doing, you always have to communicate, have to report, have to adapt. They might give you a task that is very demanding. You have to know how to adapt. You have to know how to sort for information to solve the problem. Also, lastly, there's need for continuous learning. Certifications. I mentioned Udemy, I mentioned Coursera. These people, these bodies, they offer cheap courses for cheap prices. You know, that money you're using to go and take your girlfriend on a date, you can, tell her to calm down. Use it to go and take one small course on Coursera and put it on LinkedIn. I've just done this course. Tell her to wait. You know, if you are a girl, your boyfriend give you money to go and flex, go and take a course. Because the more certifications you have, the more skills you have, the more employable you have. Because there's this, I don't know if it's still in in vogue again, but before there was this disclaimer that Nigerian graduates are unemployable. But I know that we are breaking that stuff now. So we need to be employable, and it makes you to be, valuable in the industry. When there's a shift and they want to maybe sack people, when you are someone of value, you will not be in that discussion. First of all, you'll be like, no, 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 don't touch this guy. And also in terms of growth, you will be able to grow faster. you know there are many people that join the industry at the same time, but over 5 years, some of them become managers. The other ones are still maybe one low level because of this stuff and all that. So my work at Aradel, like I said before, um, I drive efficiency, yield, sustainability, and all that. And basically, I support operations using my skills and everything. Currently, I'm working on a digital twin model for the refinery in terms of gearing towards energy efficiency and CO2 tracking using Aspen Tech software. So I think I'm taking too long. Okay, so let's begin to round up. Um, the future, where opportunities lie. So Nigeria is currently driving towards refining and petrochemicals. Over the years, Nigerian oil and gas space was basically upstream. Get the oil, take it to abroad. But now, and that thing we're doing, we're losing a lot of value from the crude oil. Because when you just anything at all that you just that you extract from the ground and you sell as a raw product, you are losing up to about you are getting only about 10% of that value in that product. So for you to process that raw material to become a finished product, that way you are getting full value for that product. For Nigeria, we're losing a lot of money by selling our crude oil. But right now, we have the Dangote coming on board. We have the other refinery. We have there's one refinery in Imo State, but that's not a refinery. You have one in Edo. You have Bua coming up, building a very big refinery in Akwa Ibom State. So very soon, Nigeria will become a very, very big hub in refining and in petrochemicals. So that's one thing, and that will create a lot of jobs for people because refinery is much more bigger than oil and gas companies. Oil and gas companies highest employ maybe 400 persons maximum. But refinery, you will employ a lot of persons, even in Aradel here, because we have a refinery unit. We are more in number than other people in gas plant or in procession. Because refinery needs a lot of persons, control room, laboratory, maintenance, engineering, you know, tech and all that. So it's very, very so if you should be aware of this, anything you're doing should be gearing towards this. Also, there's a push towards gas development because over the time Nigeria has been flaring a lot, but now Nigeria is now behaving well in terms of using their gas resources. You now have Nigeria producing LPG. You have the likes of the Greenville LNG, Nigerian LNG, even CNG now is now in adoption, even hydrogen. So there is this, if you are studying gas engineering or petroleum and gas engineering, just ensure that you are moving towards this direction because this is really going to be a very, very big industry in Nigeria in oil and gas. Currently, they are building a very big pipeline. They call it the AKK gas pipeline that's connecting Nigeria to the Europe, for more gas utilization. There's even the OB3 gas pipeline that's currently going on. So there is this heavy investment in gas currently. So let's be aware of that, you know. And even like I said before, AI, automation, analytics. If you are studying anything around electronics or electrical engineering, please you should go and looking at automation. That's the future of um, elect people. So those days of power or electrical and all those things, you need to start going into automation. Those people they're very scarce in the industry, and anyone that you see like this, so they pay them very well. Automation. So even analytics, data analysis is very important. Process analysis is also important. That's my niche. So even ESG is more about your um environmental and sustainability goals. So there's this drive for reducing flaring, reducing CO2 presence, reducing greenhouse gas emission. Let them know, let the land be clean. There's a facility in Shell in Nigeria here that those people, like, Shell is very, very advanced in terms of ESG and sustainability. Around the plant, all the waterways in the facility, it is so clean that they are breeding fishes in the waterways, like the gutter. They have fishes. They are breeding fishes there. When the government come, those people, the regulators come to inspect them, they are always amazed. There is no spill, zero emission. They are so advanced, like, that, because there's this thing that oil and gas kills the environment, keep fishes. Those people have, like, they have fishes growing along the waterways, the gutters in the facility. That's telling you that we are really taking this thing serious. So the next generation will not just work on systems. They'll work smartly and intelligently. So that is just the idea of this whole thing. You need to understand that you need to start looking at tech, intelligent systems, how to optimize, how to digitize, how to automate, how to, make the whole thing very good. So you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stay curious to keep learning. So you have to keep learning, okay? Even if you are already working, keep learning. Okay, we call it Kaizen, continuous improvement. If you are still in school, keep learning. You know, if you're on LinkedIn, meet people, connect with them, try to see how you can push yourself, you know, try and see how you can become the best, you know, in the industry. So I think that will be my closing thoughts. Thanks to Octan Young Professionals put me in a chapter. And just remember that the oil and gas industry rewards those who combine technical depth, learning ability. So on your CV also, you should not be having a CV that is talking like if you're an old person. Your CV should tell that you're a young person. All those olden days format of CV, you should take it out. Go and research about modern day CVs, even cover letter. Everything you're doing should be speaking of you as a smart person, someone who is carried. Because basically, sometimes you might not get an opportunity to speak for yourself, but your CV will speak for you, or your LinkedIn profile. You should optimize your profile to be that someone can look at your profile and be encouraged to DM you and give you an opportunity. So just let's see how we can, drive ourselves, open your mind to learning, open your mind to being curious, open your mind to networking, open your mind to growing. And I wish you all the best. And I hope that this will be something that will push some of us to become better in what we are doing and to become great men in the industry. I want to see people from Footmina taking up jobs in the oil and gas industry, becoming great men in the industry. So thank you very much. I rest my case. What to the moderator?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate. This is a whole lot. Yes, I know we are going home with a lot of things. Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for all the talks, everything, all the both advice, everything. I really appreciate it, sir. Thank you. To our members here online, there will be room for questions and answers after our second discussion, and it will be taken by Engineer Oluleye. So sorry, sir, for the wrong pronunciation. Over to
Not
you
a
now,
problem.
sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
I know you can. You're welcome,
Can you hear me very well?
sir. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Good evening, OYP Footmina. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
other graduates and distinguished guests. I also salute the former speaker, Franklin. Thank you so much. I've heard so much from you. I've also learned from you. My name is Oluleye Oluokun. I have MSc Control Engineering from Central England. I'm a CEO of Citec Automation. I am also the Octan National Housing Coordinator, which actually puts me as the OYP chairman. I have a slide that is just 3 pages, and I will not speak much from the slide. I will speak to the slide. The previous speaker has actually elaborated on a lot of things I would have loved to speak about. So with that, I will navigate through another area so that I will corroborate with most of the things he spoke about. Now, I will start from our video that talks about beneficiary of the gift of success. I know a lot of us must have watched that video. Beneficiary of the gift of success. We are beneficiary of gift of success one way or the other, but I want to categorically tell you that I, Oluleye Oluokun, I am a beneficiary of the gift of success. Hard work is very good. Being consistent is very good. But all these things to me, they form the baseline of benefiting from success. Let me share with you in practical terms as regards gift of success, a beneficiary. There's a particular job fair. I don't know whether they still do it now. It's called African Job Fair. Back then in the UK, between 2005 and 2012. The job fair permits multinationals, some indigenous oil companies to come to Africa, to come to the UK and get brilliant ones and people they feel okay, they will come back to their country to work. And there are a lot of companies back then actually, and they have to invite you. You need to be invited before you can actually go to the venue where the job fair is taking place. And unfortunately, I was not invited. But I found out that because I was not invited, I sat down and looked at my CV again. And I told myself I should have been invited. So guys, you need to first of all do what we call a self-assessment and be truthful to yourself. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see the gaps. Genuinely, you'll know how to approach it. So I told myself, at this level, I think I'm qualified to be called for an interview. So I took myself from Coventry, which is Central England, and to London. So when I got there, definitely, I won't be able to enter. And as I couldn't enter, I told myself I need to look for a way to enter. So I discussed with some of the security men and I explained to them. And quite enough, they were good enough. Good enough, they were very kind to me. They now asked me, okay, what do I want to do? I told them I want the oil and gas companies to look at my CVs again. It's okay, fine, I should bring the CVs. Then my head was in Shell, Total, ExxonMobil. I listed them, gave them my CVs. After giving them the CVs, I was not still comfortable. I told myself I took train an hour, 30 minutes to this place. I will not go back. Now, when you are determined, another thing is resilience. Challenges, when they come, it's normal, but your approach to it that makes the difference. At the end of the day, I had to maneuver myself. I entered the place, like 3 different floors, very big. And when I got there, I discovered that I saw a very long queue for Shell. I saw for Wando. And I saw another queue, not too long. Is a GE Oil and Gas, General Electric. I was now talking to myself again that I managed to enter this place. I'm not actually qualified to be here. I should not go and stay on the long queue, whereby in case they are arresting those who were not invited. So let me know for myself, I had to join the shorter queue, which is GE Oil and Gas, having about 70 people on the queue. Now, guess what? Self-assessment, observations are very good in life. And I started observing how the queue was reducing. And I was like trying to listen. What were they telling them? Don't forget, I was not invited. I was curious. When you're guilty, a lot of things will be revolving through your mind in life. And I said, okay. Oh, they're just collecting the CV and they will tell them, I will get back to you. We'll get back to you. Now, guess what again? I look at my CV and I look at what are the selling points as an automation expert. What are the selling points as a control engineer? Just like the previous speaker said, the software development skills is very important, including soft skills on its own outside the engineering skills. But when I got to my turn, I didn't submit my CV. I told them, good evening. My name is so. I am automation and control expert. It drew attention among the 3 people. I didn't know who they were then. They were like, really? What do you know about controls? And I started explaining them. They now pushed me one side that I should come to this side. Ladies and gentlemen, are you with me?
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
All right. Don't forget I said other people, they were just collecting their CVs. They pushed me one side and I said, come to one side. So there is this thing called don't be commonized. And one of the things that will make you not to commonize yourself is to be distinct in your career pursuit. Through, first of all, self-assessment. What are those things I lack? What are those things I'm not good at all? Now, they ask me basic questions. Which control software do I know how to use? And right there, I mentioned one, and the other one I mentioned I'm working on it. which is PLC, Programmable Logic Controllers, Siemens and Allen Bradley. I also mentioned LabVIEW, which we're using in school then. And the HR Africa, West Africa, gave me his card. I always love to mention his name because I'm a beneficiary of the gift of success. We're 70 in number. So when he gave it to me, he said, once I'm done with my master's, I should come to GE Oil and Gas. Now, I will truncate the story there to buttress my point about building yourself, aligning with the trend, defining for yourself what is common, what is not common. BSc is common everywhere. Degrees are common everywhere. What are those things that are not common, but they are unique in the oil and gas sector? Immediately, he gave me the card. Everybody rushed me. But that was by the way. And I was just in my first semester. I've not written first semester exams, and I had 3 semesters. So I look at the journey to be too long that this man might have forgotten me before that time. You know what I did? During our summer break, I dropped 1 course instead of doing 2 courses so that I could be able to, communicate with them and tell them I want to do my summer internship for masters with them. I just picked up a call and I called him. He said, if I have a summer break, then no problem. And they told me they're not going to pay for anything. They're not going to pay me. They're not going to pay anything. And I said, no problem. But at the long run, after doing the Europe grad screening and everything, I came to Nigeria. They paid me. They paid me well. And GE Oil and Gas is one of the biggest Christmas tree vendors in the world. They are into subsea technology. And that is how I started my career in subsea technology, which is why I pride my experience now, because that is where the world has gone to now. And you can see how many years I was so much ahead of my contemporaries. Now, what are the elements that were distinct about me? The first thing is I am a beneficiary of gift of success. Don't take that away. The second thing is I've built myself to some level and I could sell myself. The third thing now is communication. When you're looking for something, please do communicate. Don't assume. Even though you've spoken to 90 people, they give you the same answer, and you still have 10 on the list. I want to assure you and reassure you, 2 or 3 of them will give you answers different from those 90 people. So the third aspect is you need to communicate. Now, the fourth aspect now is what the last speaker, Mr. Franklin, made mention. When you're on your internship, right, don't try to impress, but get as much as possible the skills needed in your next phase of life. And the last aspect I will say, and as I dwell a bit on it, mentorship. You need a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, get one after today. You need a genuine mentor. Mentorship, very important. In my own case, I may not have a direct mentor, but my dad, to a large extent, is my mentor. And I will explain. I know why I'm using that word. My dad is a specialist in instrumentation. And while I was growing, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. He's a specialist, or was a specialist rather, in instrumentation. He was a doyen in that field. But while I was growing in the profession, while at Port Harcourt Refinery from my foreign level IT, if I come home and I was telling my father about instrumentation, he would get angry at me. I was like, these are the things we've done. So one day, you know what he told me? He told me instrumentation is good, but the world is towards automation and what? Control. So now you could see the difference. When he told me, I was not really I was not really having that capacity to reason beyond what he has said. But just to fulfill all righteousness as my father, I said, okay, I love automation and controls before. Let me complement with instrumentation. That was the beginning of my love for instrumentation and control, and that's why I've carved the niche for myself. So you must have someone, directly or indirectly, that will guide you and see beyond what you are seeing at that point in time. And where I now have additional advantage was that control automation was less in Africa, I'm talking of Nigeria, than back then in 2006-2007. And because of the fact that he so far, he said, okay, come and go and study control engineering. I got admission for instrumentation and control. My dad said he doesn't want to say anything about instrumentation. And one day, when I've grown a bit in the field, I asked him during my master's, why don't you talk about instrumentation? He said there will be too many people in instrumentation and there will be less of few people in control and automation. So whenever you're also choosing your skills, after you've chosen the common one that is very common, kindly choose another one that is quite unique. When you do that, but warning first, don't rush to go to the unique ones. You first of all get the general knowledge to like every other person, because sometimes common knowledge will open the door for you. Then the special skills will keep you inside the room, not to leave that room. So don't forget the two. None of them that you can do without. Now, I've mentioned to you about a beneficiary of the gift of success with all these stories. And I've also taken a lot of success elements and individual commitment on how these things can be achieved. All the things they boil around the oil and gas sector. What are the things you need? Young engineers, young scientists. The things you actually need most times in this oil and gas are mostly even from your school. But because of the way you were taught, and because of the way or whatever is available at that time, you just want to pass and make a good grade. But I want to give a further advice. Any software you are doing, even though they are not using the software much in school, make it a priority for yourself to learn that software very at that time. Those first opportunity of learning usually form a very strong bedrock towards future success and upskilling for that particular software. Don't ignore it. Most times, that is what usually happens. I'll give you my own testimony too, because all of our down. I was supposed to learn a bit of AutoCAD, but I couldn't learn it enough. And you know what? Till today, I don't know how to use AutoCAD. It may not mean much to me because I went into automation and control. But if I've learned it that time, it should have been an additional skills during my career. It may not have affected me, but we are talking about skills that will take you far in the industry. These are important skills in the industry. So let us look at my slide now, second page. Please, second page, Rufus. Okay. Now, in my second page, like I said, this former speaker talk about value chain and the rest, key stakeholders, the current trend and forces of the oil and gas industry. And he also acknowledged the present government, how they are investing so much in the energy sector. Kudos to Mr. President, because policy being made for countries also affects your own success too as an individual. If there are not much projects going on the oil and gas, whatever we are doing here will be of less practicability. But now that there's so much employment here and there, how do you get in? How do you make a difference? How do you make sure that you that wants to be a beneficiary of success, you are unique, you are distinct? Now, upstream, midstream, downstream, most of these places are not easy to get to. What I usually advise is that service providers, there are a lot of them. if like Octan has given people a good platform, Octan website, they have over 400 company members, as corporate members. You have your phone, you have your emails. There's nothing stopping you in introducing yourself and sending to these people that you want to do like internship, you want to do like be like a freelancer, you want to be an intern without pay, because getting into the oil and gas industry sometimes is not that easy, to say the truth. But when you can communicate to some of the CEOs, directors, general managers, and some of these stakeholders while you're in school or while you're still fresh, it becomes easier to establish that relationship. And that's my second phase now. When you establish relationship, it becomes easier to ask questions and to also seek for advice from them. And during that time, don't forget, most of them hold the knife and the yam. If you are very committed, and my usual slogan, and you're loyal, you see that the difference is going to be making is that you are not coming to them just to get job or just to get something from them. They would have seen you as a younger friend. And they will now say, okay, let them test you with this. You'll be tested at the early stage of your career. So be very careful how you jump at opportunities. And when you jump at these opportunities, how you utilize these opportunities to make the person giving you the opportunity to be proud of you. Learn not to abuse opportunities. If not for yourself, save those coming behind you the emotional trauma of not seeing such or similar opportunities. I'll give you an example. Back then, those days in the late 90s and early 2000s, all the oil and gas usually have what they call graduate trainings. Don't forget, that graduate training is a platform for most of the young graduates, young technicians. Shell calls their own Shell Intensive Training Program, SITP 1 and SITP 2. One is for the graduates from the universities. The other one is for polytechnics and professional courses like City and Gates of London. Now, this thing scaled on like that for almost like 12 years. And when that thing stopped, you know what happened? It means a particular aspect of employment has stopped. But thanks to God for government policy, good luck, Jonathan, NCDM came up, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. The headquarters is in Bayelsa. That is another site I want you to be visiting almost all the time too, for you to know what is happening and for you to know how to be strategic in the way and manner you discuss with people about how you want to build your career. Now, NCDMB now have a department called Human Capacity Development Department. They now started building capacity since 2010. And fortunately enough, what they're now doing, to get my point clearly, is now what SITP and the likes were now doing. So that now created another pool of skilled workers in country. And that now made us that our indigenous participation in the oil and gas has now made a lot of servicing companies to be more of Nigerian-owned companies, owned by Nigeria, and at the same time, most of the employers are Nigerians, less foreigners. So kudos to NCDMB too, because without building capacity, there is no how we can have much of the indigenous people in the oil and gas. Oil and gas is an international business. It's not a local business. It's not enough. It's an international business. But we are doing it as a nation. We are doing it with global perspectives that it's an international business, that we are doing it in a capacity which international people were doing it or better. When you now pick NCDMB now, you will see another opportunity from NCDMB. You are not trying to fit in. So visit our website regularly to do such. While you're doing that, the rest assure that immediately you finish you can have opportunity whereby you can be trained. They'll train you so many softwares. They'll train you on so many things. At the end of the day, the mistake some people do make, which I don't like, is that they will be adamant that why is the company not employing them? First thing first, you were now having a lot of skills. They gave you the skills. Go home first and say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you for this thing you've done for me. Then you know the next thing to do. I'm a consultant on so many areas of the oil and gas. I've done a lot of direct training for NCDMB, and I've witnessed some of the things I'm telling you. And today, which is my third phase of what I'm talking about now, today now, a lot of them that we've had chats and communications with like that about these things, they are doing very well. Their orientation changed. So orientation is another area. Mindset is another thing. CR Ronaldo, for those who don't love football, my apologies. CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, I love the guy so much. And this is the reason why I love him. The guy discovered in the process of his career, there's another threat that came up at that point in time, which is Messi. If Messi had not come up the same time with C. Ronaldo, I don't think C. Ronaldo can be this good. But because it was more like C. Ronaldo and Messi, and Ronaldo knows definitely he is not actually gifted, but Messi is gifted. Ronaldo had to work so many hours every day. Now brought about me knowing about what they call the 1,000 hours rule. And whatever you've done for 1,000 hours or over 10,000 hours, it will be very hard for that thing to leave you. So look at so practice makes perfect. Any soft skill you choose, any engineering software you choose, please, it may be difficult at the initial time, be consistent with it, and have a timetable of the numbers of hours you put in. Until you've gotten to like 100 hours, don't tell yourself you've achieved anything. And your 100 hours must be productive with set goals and targets. You take it down to 1,000 hours. Once you are doing that, you will be seeing that you are heading towards perfection with applications to engineering. With all these things now that I've mentioned, starting from the gifts, a beneficiary of the gift of success, through mentorship. And the last one I said is mindset. The mindset is the one that will not tell you that, yes, there are meant to be challenges. There are meant to be some setbacks. There are meant to be obstacles. But your mindset on how you see those things is what will make the difference. Now, on this, please, third page. On the third page, it's where I will now summarize. Third page, please. Okay, thank you. Where you could fit in, identifying your role in the oil and gas, engineering role, technical roles, petroleum engineers, geologists, drilling, process engineers. Should I tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen? Of the greatest Nigerian students, there are no comrades here. Are there comrades here?
Great.
You are all academics. Then you do a lot for school again.
Yes, there is a.
Of
there
the
are comrades there,
greatest,
sir.
Bobo.
Bobo.
Of the greatest Nigerian students.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of the greatest Nigerian students. Great.
Great.
Great. Good. Thank you.
Welcome,
Now,
sir.
greatest Nigerian students, all these things we've listed here, they are not done manually again. Even though they are done manually, they are being supported by they are being supported by IT support or system support, where you have the software applications. So as much as possible, for each of them, learn to know about the software applications. When you've known that, you can now proceed for core engineers who are into automation who are into electromechanical and the likes, the chemical engineers too, you now do what we now call embedded. Embedded system or embedded engineering is my other core area of my specializations in the oil and gas industry. Is that after you must have done your software, now go to your hardware. I also advise us, if you can see any roadside to learn anything in engineering, please do. Use of hand tools is one of the setbacks of Nigerian graduates, Nigerian university graduates. Polytechnics usually have some edge over universities those days. But unfortunately now, they've also failed in their mandates because polytechnics are comparing themselves with the university mandates, which is where they failed. Whether they fail or not, personal failure sometimes is the worst because you grieve alone. So in order for you not to be in the line of failure, what you need to do is hands-on, practical as an engineer. Find one place to learn it. If you have opportunity to learn it in a servicing company, good for you. If you don't have a place to learn it, for those who are in Port Harcourt or people can come around, CTEC Automation Limited will give you the opportunity to learn hands-on on automation and controls. So if you are here, you are seeing your 300 level, 400 level, CTEC Automation Limited will give you opportunity to learn these things, because that is another area I found out that it's actually lacking and is of great concern. After learning the softwares, you have too many people in the software. Now, people in the hardware, integrating the software becomes a big challenge, because someone that knows hardware alone and someone that knows hardware and software, you will definitely employ the person that knows both software and hardware. So you can see the levels of skills, which we call skill up in the system. You need to understand it, identify those gaps. That, okay, I'm done with software now. I want to learn hands-on. I want to learn how to use a multimeter. I want to learn how to use some of these equipment. I want to learn how to put a particular equipment in a control loop. I want to learn them. I want them to come together. And I want to remotely control them from the control room. So this is another area that I think you may not easily find a place where you learn it, but you can find out as a student. I have to advise you, don't say everything is all about money. That you be saying if money is big, the place is good. Change that mentality. When you have big money that you want to use to learn something, discuss with the CEO that you are a student. You're right? Then get some of those things. Now use the remaining money to buy little equipment for yourself that can be in your house. That once you finish learning there, you'll not forget. Practice makes perfect. And the 1,000 to 10,000 hours rules will make you to always be fresh, adapting, making changes at every point in time, because the small equipment is in your house. I'll be rounding up in the next 5 minutes. Softwares that needs to be learned in the oil and gas or preparation for the oil and gas using universities or polytechnics. You have the MATLAB Simulink. That is another one I think schools don't treat very well. MATLAB Simulink. A lot of people. So those are the things we'll be doing in OIP from time to time, bringing up some of these softwares to teach guys maybe 2 weekends, 3 weekends, so that you can familiarize yourself with the basics and the practical applications in the oil and gas. The second one I would like to mention more again is the PLC, Programmable Logic Controllers, owned by a lot of automation and control vendors. And the last one, which is LabVIEW, which is where I'm currently doing my PhD. I'm currently doing my PhD in systems engineering, specializing in automation and controls at the University of Port Harcourt. And my project is about comparing LabVIEW as a control system and a PLC as control system. And why did I choose that? LabVIEW is not really that much known in Africa. PLC everywhere. But in Europe and America, there isn't LabVIEW for a lot of control systems. And what I see there is that LabVIEW is very cheap. PLC is very expensive. So why can't I do a project that will compare the lab view results and the PLC results. If the results are similar, definitely lab view is also a very good control system. But to fast forward, Emerson, one of the biggest automation and control companies, they're smart enough and see that the lab view is like the future of the world in automation now. Emerson company, they've bought LabVIEW from National Instruments. LabVIEW is owned by National Instruments. So they bought that particular thing. That is to tell you that they've seen ahead, 20, 30, 40 years ahead. Now, so LabVIEW is another software I'll tell you, you look into very well. And I'll be working on it from next week with Rufus and some other people. So whoever wants to join us too, you can also show interest and talk to Rufus. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olulaye Oluokun, a comrade while in school at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, ATBU. So, Futmina is always seen as our brothers, and we're always very, very happy when we see Futmina. ABU also, because my school, ATBU was this faculty of engineering to Ahmadu Bello. And also, I did my HMBA level certificate from Ahmadu Bello University. So I'm connected to most of the universities in Nigeria, one way or the other. So we actually know problems that are similar and common to each of these universities. At this point in time, I would like to say thank you so much, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for this insightful talk you have given to us. Thank you very much. Please, our questions, if you have any question, kindly signify by raising your hand up. Any question you have, please, or if you have, you can write it down in the chat box here. Send in your questions, anything you have for our two speakers.
Kalista, sorry, please. Mr. Franklin would want to chip in something for a few minutes.
Okay, Mr. Franklin, over to you, sir.
Mr. Franklin.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So I wanted to chip in this because I was supposed to stay and talk about this during my presentation, but it skipped me. So I know that this knowledge is not really well driven in the university systems. That's why I want to say it out. If you want to come to the oil and gas industry, if you are still in school or you are a fresh graduate, you need to start practicing all these assessment test results, like Dragnet, SHL, and the rest. Because even GMAT too. Because I remember when I first went for my first job assessment with Oando PLC. I was reading my undergraduate textbook. I got to the interview. Please mute, sorry. Okay, so you have to just please, you guys should get those things, because any oil and gas company you are applying for now, for a career trainee role, you'll be made to write all these assessment tests. And if you have not been used to them, you are going to fail woefully. I'm telling you the truth, please. Yeah? And the best route to come into any oil company is as a career trainee. That's the best route. So as you're getting the software skills, getting the hand, everything, please, you guys should practice how to answer Dragnet kind of questions, abstract reasoning, verbal reasoning, spatial reasoning, all those things. Please start from school to get used to those kind of questions, because if you're not used to them, but when you meet them, you feel, because they are very, very somehow difficult, and it requires experience on how to answer them. So that's what I'm tipping. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Okay. Yeah.
Rufus, sorry, just 1 minute. I just remember something too.
Okay.
Okay, I just remember something just now. For the aptitude test he has mentioned, engineers, please, your engineering drawing, go and take it again. The one we did in secondary school, just make sure you know them very, very well. Those are other areas, the four people's hand, when a lot of people are already available at the top level. So at that point in time, engineering drawing now goes a long way because we deal more with schematics and engineering drawing. So they want to see your engineering drawing apt and how you can easily adapt to. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Okay, we have learned a lot through these two talks that we had today from our two speakers. Thank you very much, sirs. Thank you for the beautiful talks and advice too. And we hope that everyone here has taken something to go home. And quickly, I have a suggestion here. Please can those of us down LinkedIn, yes, those of us down LinkedIn, we can follow our LinkedIn page. Yes, please, sorry first, please can you drop our social media handles on the chat box? Mr. Rufus, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please,
Drop
can
it.
you drop our social media handles on the chat box so we can follow each other, and also on LinkedIn? After this, we can also um, post on LinkedIn what we've learned through this webinar we've had. We can also tag our two speakers, Mr. Franklin and Engineer Oluye. We have their names here. We can tag them, post what you've learned, and don't forget to tag us as Mr. Refos drops the social media handle. Wherever you are posting, don't forget to tag us too. Thank you very much. Your questions, please. I've seen a question here in the chat box, but it has been answered already. Thank you, Engineer Oloye. Thank you very much. Any other question? Please, if you have any question, you can signify by raising your hand or dropping them in the chat box here. Any questions so far? Do we have any question? Okay, since we don't have any for now, we can, okay, I would like us to do a little exercise. Okay, I can call on anyone to tell us, summarize everything we've learned today from our two speakers. If, okay, let me put it like this. If you've learned anything, you can share with us here on this webinar. You can share with us on this online Zoom. Please, if you have anything that you've learned today, you can share with us. Anyone? There are a lot of people here. You can just signify, open, unmute yourself, speak. You can unmute yourself and speak. Or rather, I would pick.
Okay, so that's what we talked about during the class. You must learn to communicate if you want to grow in the industry. You must learn to be
Yeah,
talk. So let someone talk something. They start learning that
yeah.
skill.
Let's talk together, please. Let's
Good,
interact.
good evening, everyone.
Okay, good evening, Bashir. Thank you.
All right. My name is Abgeni Bashir, and a fresh graduate from Federal University of Technology, Mina. I really want to appreciate the efforts of our two speakers sincerely, and this kind of session that I always like very well and enjoy. So I have some questions, but I'll just make it one so that I won't waste time. As a fresh graduate, my area of interest as chemical engineering students is oil and gas. So, but I've taken it upon myself right from when I was in institution that at least for me to enter any oil and gas company, the basic knowledge of all the courses that we are doing is very important. And so far in my school, I could say most of tutorials wey like that all the like students in chemical engineering right from 300 level, all those basic courses, I do take them, which has like given me more opportunity to understand them better. Now, based on dis session now, I can really discover that the course that we have learnt in school are just the basic, while learning skills and other stuff are will optimize or will help us in bridging the gap between the theoretical aspects that we have learnt in class. Now my question is, all these softwares that we are saying we are not being taught in school, even there is nothing like that in our curriculum at all. Though you said anytime we have the opportunity we should learn something like that, but all these things are not being taught or even said during our days in institution, that there are some software, though we are seeing some software in like some textbook that okay, this textbook it has softwares being mentioned like ChemCAD, AutoCAD, Aspen ICs, but there is no like grant, or there is no opportunity for us to learn. Now as a fresh graduate that I want to, okay, my interest is in oil and gas company, how do I manage to learn and all these softwares between this short period of time? Because now it's just NYSC that most of us have. I don't know whether some people are here that are also fresh graduate too, but it's a pain and something that we have to say. So is there any opportunity, like maybe from your side or from our speakers, that we can able to learn all these things within short period of time and we will catch up? Because if we are learning this thing and you said the basics should be courses that we have learned in class, what of those that they have even forgot, or they didn't even like, they don't care about the courses that they did in class at all? So how will they match these things together? How will they cope? And to do and some of us that at least we try our best to remember some courses small small, how will we learn all these things within short period of time, that and at least is going to help all of us? Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go first before, because I need to rush out now. Okay, so as a chemical engineer, you need to understand that the things you learnt in school are not a waste. They are important. However, you are going to be able to express those knowledge using all those tech softwares. Okay, for example, if you're asked to perform a material and heat balance on a particular process, you can't be doing that with the pen and paper in the industry. You have to do it through a software. Okay, or you are told to design a particular process. You can't be drawing it with your hand and all that. So you need to learn these softwares, and it is so bad that it is not being taught in the universities. But I can speak for um uh
Right,
Uniport,
sir.
I can speak for university. They're actually teaching their students now. I think the current set now, it is being integrated. They're bringing it up now. So some schools are really really trying on that. So I don't know if your school, or maybe when you finished, but it's currently part of the new drive for uh, outcome driven engineering by Koren. So, but since you didn't learn it in your school, you can always learn these things online. There are various courses to learn Aspen. And if you are serious, it won't take you more than 3 months or 6 months to understand how to simulate. At least you should know how to use Aspen. That's the basics for anybody in chemical or petroleum engineering. Then from there you can go and learn AutoCAD. Then you can also learn this other one, Auger, for flow assurance. You get the point. There are various videos online, you can learn it. I also have a class that I teach people on personal basis. So I don't have a center. So if you reach out to me, I can always teach you how to use the software for a very, very small price for only students and young graduates. So you can learn these things online and make yourself much more better. And about you forgetting what you're learning in school, or those who don't take it serious, these softwares will kind of like rejig your memory, because there's some things that you're trying to do on the software and you might need to go and use your knowledge that you learned in school. So you better appreciate those things you learn in school and using these software, because these softwares were developed using those principles that you learned in school. So you can learn these things, any software at all, even Prosper, even this other one, Pro 2. They are all on YouTube. You can learn it on YouTube. You can even learn it on Coursera, on Udemy. I learned my particular software on Udemy, even though it's basic knowledge, but at least, so these things you can learn them online. The days of knowledge being hidden, that's past. So go online and learn it, or reach out to somebody, to me or anybody that can take these courses and teach you. So that would be my advice on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bashi, has your question been answered?
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Franklin. Any other question or any other suggestion or advice, anything, any lesson we've learned from this webinar that we just had now from our two speakers? Please,
My
does anyone have anything to say?
I want to reach out to me.
So, okay, Mr. Franklin has dropped his number. You can reach out to him in case you have any other thing to say. You can reach out to him. He has dropped his WhatsApp number on the chat box. So please, you can reach out to him. He's in a hurry to leave out. So please, anything, you can reach out to him. Any other thing? Any other person? Okay. Mr. Rufus. Mr.
Okay.
Rufus, please, you
Yes, sir.
can help us with yours.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much. Once again, I want to say thank you to all of our speakers and to every participant who has actually taken out time here to invest in themselves and in their personal development. There is one thing about life. Learning is a continuous process in life. If you really want to be able to navigate the curves of life, you need to keep learning and you need to keep gaining knowledge. So I want to say thank you so much for coming here. It is really, really an honor and a privilege to meet with you VIP here today. And also, a lot has actually been said. Both speakers and analyzing coordinator actually talked about simulation, simulation, simulation. Uh, Recently, we actually had a plan on having a boot camp. And the boot camp, one of the things we will be doing in that boot camp, let me share my screen, please, is about software simulation, software simulation in the oil and gas industry. And so if you can see, let me see your hand. If you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so this is what we'll be having coming up next month. Software simulation training is going to be, the details will be related to every one of us. And please be checking your mails, because for everyone who registered, you get a mail on this training when it will be starting. And we'll be talking mainly on Haspeniasis. Though it's not going to be the full training on Haspeniasis, but we'll be giving an introduction to Haspeniasis and MATLAB. So at least from there, everyone can be able to navigate their way through. And from there, you become good. Yeah, you become good. So probably let's just keep this. We might have Mr. Franklin back, but let's just keep it on a low key for now. Is he still on the call? Okay, he's off. We might have him back.
No, no.
Okay, so please check your mail. More information will be related to us about the boot camp that is coming up in November. So November is already here. We're just less than 18 days away. So thank you so much. And to our university liaison officer, thank you so much, sir. We want to say thank you to Octan for giving us the privilege to be able to learn from you in the oil and gas industry. We would not take this for granted, and everything you have actually shared with us today will be put into practice. We really, really appreciate. So thank you so much. See you guys in our next webinar that will be coming up soon, this October.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
wonderful time. Have a wonderful
All right,
time.
bye.
See every one of you. Bye.
All right, thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you for showing up for this meeting. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate. Thank you to our speaker, Engineer Olu Leye. Thank you very much, sir. Also to Mr. Franklin. Thank you very much for making out time to come and speak to us about the oil and gas industry. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate. And we promise you that this time you spent with us will not go in vain. Yes, will not go in vain.
Amen.
Thank you very
Amen.
much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we can
Please,
all leave
the link will be the link to this session will be sent to us. Just check your
okay.
mail, you get the link. And to the NCDMB website Engineer Lu talked about, you get the link on your email. So long you registered for the event. If you did not register, please send us a message on LinkedIn. You see our LinkedIn profile, Octan Footmina chapter, Octan Young Professionals Footmina chapter. You get a message. Just drop the message for us. We send the link to you and every information we share with you. Thank you so much. Do have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to post on LinkedIn and tag us. Okay, sorry, I've not dropped the link, our social media handle. It is Octan Footmina for LinkedIn. Octan Footmina. Let me write it down at the chat box. Octan Footmina for the LinkedIn accounts, for the LinkedIn handle, please. Once we are done, you can quickly summarize what you've learned, post it on LinkedIn or any of the social media handles and tag us. And also you can tag our speakers too. Thank you very, very much. Do have a lovely evening and a wonderful night's rest. Thank you all. You can leave the meeting now.
Thank you so much.